So I interviewed the biggest songwriter in the world. Oh yeah? Let's talk to him.
Is it lucrative to be a songwriter today with streaming?
No, no, it's really bad.
I got a royalty check the other day. I have over 400 songs streaming. My royalty check was I think it was for $3.94. Thanks.
Of the biggest pop artists on the planet, then think of your favorite songs that they sing. Odds are Justin Tranter right here wrote those songs.
I feel like a big piece that people don't know about the music industry is how payment works.
It doesn't. I have been very, very, very fortunate because I have had radio hits. I live a secure life and I can take care of my parents. For songwriters that don't have songs on the radio, there's songs that will have 300 million streams but weren't on radio, and I maybe make them. My band was dropped from 4 record deals. So when I finally had the business working somewhat on my side, I was writing 12 songs a week, day sessions, night sessions, everything. I think most people would assume like Justin Bieber's Sorry is probably my highest earner. It's nowhere close. Because I know your followers are very like business interested people, so why not just be honest about the business?
I'm with the one and only Justin Tranter.
Hello,
the
icon.
legend.
The king of TikTok music here, teaching us all how to exist.
That means so much. Appreciate that. But Justin,
I keep wondering, like, how is TikTok so relevant? I can't even download it. I can't download TikTok. It's not there to download. How does that mean nothing to anyone? Once those updates start kicking in and you don't have the latest TikTok filter, I think you're going to be upset. TikTok, I think it's dead. I think it's going to die. That's my prediction.
say, for those of you who don't know, Justin is one of the greatest songwriters, one of the greatest pop songwriters today, in my opinion.
You just named so many artists that I hate.
Written massive songs. Why don't you tell them a little bit about some of your favorites you've written so far?
Sure. Some of my favorites are Believer, Imagine Dragons.
Oh, God, that's the worst song ever.
Selena Gomez, Good For You. Hands to Myself.
The only good thing Selena Gomez ever did is be in Only Murders in the Building.
Lose You to Love Me.
Incredible.
Cake by the Ocean. Halsey
Oh,
Bad at
God,
Love.
I have to hear that song at work all the time. So this guy is responsible for everything I hate about music. Interesting.
The list
Yep,
goes
I
on
hate that song too.
and on and on.
Yeah,
Very, very,
all of
very
these songs are
lucky,
terrible.
with an insane amount of hard work. But luck does need to come with that too.
Speaking of hard work, you have been in the game for quite a long time.
A million years. I'm happily, proudly 1,000 years old. 1,000. Mark it down.
How many songs did you write before you had your first placement?
So it's a little.
Welcome to the Wayverhood.
Wayfair vibe at our place.
That's a tricky question because I started writing
For
songs
Diddy.
at 15, and my first placement was when I was 33 or 34. It came out when I was 34. I can't remember what time of year they actually cut it, but so I was writing songs since I was 15. But I always wanted to be a singer-songwriter. So when I first started, it was like, you know, I was the kid of the 90s, so all of the amazing female singer-songwriters like Ani DeFranco, Tori Amos, Kate Bush, who's now a current pop star again, which is the coolest thing that's ever fucking happened to anyone. Mainly her fans were all like dead now in a good way.
I love it.
So that was my first vision, but then in like 2005, 6, I started a sort of like glam rock revival band. And so it was in my band called Semi-Precious Weapons for years and years and years. Writing all the songs for the most part by myself. And so, long story not short at all, I wrote a lot of fucking songs, but I was only trying to write songs with and for other people for about a year before my first big placement came out. It was only about 3 months till someone cut a song. Kelly Clarkson cut a song called Nostalgic about 3 months into it. And the funny part is that I thought I was a fucking failure.
I wonder, how many songs has this man actually made? Wow, 521. See, I'm probably sitting around there myself because I did a year's songs project, and it was a leap year, so that was 366 songs. I remember counting it up to 500 at one time. I've written around the same amount of songs as this guy. None of my songs have been hits. None at all. But at the same time, every song I hear of his that's a hit is a song that I don't like at all. So I just don't think I'm just not cut from the same 70s sharp lapel cloth as this man.
Because in that 3 months...
And I'm completely comfortable with that.
My publisher had probably sent out 30 songs that all were no, 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 no. And even though I had been dropped from 4 record deals, which is a lot of rejection and disappointment.
That's a lot. I haven't been dropped from any record deals. I've never had one.
It's not like a no every day. As a songwriter, it's a no every fucking day. I still get no's most of the time, So that rejection I wasn't used to, and I was like, I must be bad at this. I should probably just put more energy into my band while we look for a new deal, because at least our shows, people loved our shows, so that was always there's something good here. Anyway, now that I know this side of the business a lot.
See, that was what was intriguing to me as someone in a band for so long. We'd go up to the big city and we'd play a show, and people would be so into it, and they'd be like, you blew my mind. I haven't seen a band like you in forever. That was amazing. And it really kept the fuel going for a long time, that to see people in real life that really were impacted by what you just did up there, it means everything, but it never did seem to translate into anything else.
Better. 3 months is...
And then the pandemic hit and the whole thing just got washed away.
A very short amount of time to get a cut. And then it was a year until I had a hit.
Did you get a publishing deal 3 months prior, or did you always have that?
My band had a publishing deal.
Okay.
And so I got really lucky, which is going to sound crazy, but it'll make sense in a second. I got lucky that the guy that signed the band to our publishing deal left the company, which is normally the kiss of death when the person that loves you leaves the company. But for me, it was amazing. So he left the company, and the band's last album, we made it with a guy named Tricky Stewart, who did Umbrella, Single Ladies, Baby, Justin Bieber. He's a genius. The new Beyonce song, Break My Soul.
Yeah.
Tricky and Dream, yeah. I FaceTimed him the night it came out. I was so excited. And so
Where is this guy's microphone? Is it in his pocket?
Said to me, you're a really great fucking pop songwriter. You're in a rock band, and we're the arrangements sound like rock or alternative, whatever you want to call it, but these are pop songs. You should think about that. So when my publisher left the company and someone new got brought in, I was like, hey, can anyone put me in sessions to write for other people? Pretty sure we're about to get dropped from Epic, which would have been our 4th drop. They took our name off their website, which is not a good sign.
While you were still signed with them?
While we were still signed with them.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, well, the writing's on the wall with that. At least you had a heads up in a way.
Wow.
So,
and at least you're a very talented person, so you could pick up and keep going.
So
I don't like this man's work, but I appreciate his talent. I'm not going to pretend that he's not talented just because he makes music I don't like. I recognize that most people absolutely love the music that this man has written through the lens of Taylor Swift or whatever. It's just not for me.
Put me in sessions, and so they did. They started putting me in sessions, and I guess I was really good at it, and I was really good at people. And so people kept asking me back because they had such a great time, and they felt so safe, and they felt like they could talk about shit they normally can't talk about, and so that was it. So
they need to move his microphone. Every movement he makes, there's this noise.
Again, as I said, long story not short, I probably wrote 1,000 songs to my first placement, but as a pop writer, it was a very short amount of time.
Incredible. I've heard that you kind of started out in those first 3 months in the beginning. You started off writing very generic songs.
Yes.
And when you let in later, it went a lot more specific.
So when I first started writing, it was not, we were still in the wake of DJ Hell. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was some amazing songs came out of DJ Hell. Titanium, Sia, David Guetta, that's an exception. That's not DJ Hell. But we were still in like DJ Hell, where like
Say DJ Hell one more time.
every big song was just like a DJ situation. I just rephrase that. The people who were accepting outside songs, right? Katy Perry, Gaga, all those people co-wrote their own songs, right? Taylor Swift, they're all in their own camps. You can't send them a song. So the only people that were accepting outside songs at the time were DJs. So I was just like trying to write some generic DJ hit,
Interesting.
which is not music that I listen to or know about or like. So the first song I ever wrote in a pop session that I actually liked and like really enjoyed singing the demo was Kelly Clarkson's Nostalgic. So
It was much more specific.
it was much more specific, and it's almost like, if you listen to it, it's like an 80s dream alternative pop rock song. Like, it's not like a traditional pop song at all, sonically. Great. And then like a week later, Kelly Clarkson cut it.
But it didn't come out right away.
No, she got pregnant, which, good for her, but crushed my soul, because I was telling everyone, oh my god, I got my first cut, and it's with Kelly Clarkson, and like I had like a big
And then it's
Kelly
just nowhere for like a year and a half or whatever.
Clarkson super fan era for that second album with all the amazing. Since You've Been Gone was the first one, but that whole album, the stuff she did with the Matrix.
You've been gone, ramming to me for the first time.
Ugh.
And all those amazing. It was unbelievable. The one song that Avril co-wrote, masterpiece. Anyway, Breakaway, so fucking
Incredible.
good. So I was so excited, and I was telling everyone in my whole life that like Kelly Clarkson cut a song, but then like it didn't come out for like 2 or 3 years because of her life, which is fine, but it wasn't fine for me.
But this was the part that was so
I
crazy.
still got paid, I'm sure.
Your first placement was your first big hit, right?
The first song that came out, right? So Kelly was the first cut or placement, whatever you call it, but the first song that was released to the world was also my first hit, yes, which was Fall Out Boy's Century.
Oh, that song's terrible.
So that
And yeah, I have to hear it like every day at work.
being said, I feel like a big piece that people don't know about the music industry is, at least for songwriters, is how payment works. So in terms of like
It doesn't. That's
there's
If I was a songwriter for these people at this point with streaming and everything, I think I would probably, I'd probably just want to go ahead and just get a check for a specific amount of money that we agreed upon. Like getting cut into royalties, I don't even think I would want a piece of that, because it's literally just like nothing, you know?
it's broken.
It's completely broken.
how does it actually work? How do songwriters get paid, and what can the music industry do for the future if it's not great to change that?
Yeah, so basically now the only way songwriters get paid is if a song is on the radio. And so I have been very, very fortunate.
What even is the radio anymore?
Not that I'm counting.
Are you streaming?
Not that I'm counting, but I have like 16 radio hits. But, and I obviously am counting. That was a joke, but there's no studio audience here, so the joke didn't land. But trust me, it was great. But, but I have been very, very, very fortunate that because of I have had radio hits. I live a beautiful, secure life, and I can take care of my parents.
That's all I want. That is all I want. It is so hard to get.
For songwriters that don't have songs on the radio, there's songs that I will have that will have 300 million streams but weren't on radio, and I maybe make like $6,000. Which is really, 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 really bad, right? So if you're a new song...
I love to take $6,000 for something. But at the same time, 300 million? How does 300 million streams equate to $6,000? That's ridiculous. Where's all this money going? Or is there just no money? What's the deal?
Songwriter, and you can't believe that you just got an album cut with Ariana. You got an album cut with Jonas Brothers, and like, holy fuck. And there's all these streams, and it's nuts, but it didn't go to radio. You can't survive on... Right, because you got to write a couple. Let's say you got to write 100 songs, so you get one that's good enough, or not even good enough. That's lucky. That's good enough and lucky enough to like make the album and fit in the album's vision and get on the album. And that song makes you $6,000, which is because you can't. So a lot of amazing songwriters do have day jobs, but then they're gonna like not be able to go to sessions they need to go to, and so you get your advance, and then like if you don't have a radio hit within the first 2 years of that advance, the advance is gone, and then you're fucked. So it's a
That's brutal.
really big problem. So there was a lot of movement in Washington, and a law did get passed to increase our payment on streaming. But now then all the big streamers, besides Apple Music, all the other big streamers locked arms and have been repealing it. So the law is frozen. So no one's making money on it because it's still in like...
Terrible.
I'm not a lawyer, but I think it's like in the Court of Appeals or whatever that's called. Don't quote me on that. You'll probably Google it and know much better, and you'll educate me tomorrow. But it's frozen. So we got that pay increase, but no one's seen it because it's frozen.
Sounds about right. Yeah, we'll give you more money, except not really.
Is it lucrative to be a songwriter today with streaming?
No, no, it's really bad. And you know, as radio is now, radio used to be a big way to break songs and be the leader. And there's always exceptions, right? There's always exceptions, but for the most part now, radio.
So basically, streaming has killed the radio. The money is in the radio. And streaming has killed the radio, and the money's in the radio. That's a bad situation. That's a really bad situation.
Is following what's happening on TikTok and following what's happening on streaming. So it's like it has to be an absolute perfect world for a song to either go viral on TikTok or get enough love at Spotify playlisting that labels feel confident enough to take it to radio, and that radio is going to actually follow through on it.
In terms of the three different... I'm just curious about this because I was doing research on it.
Yeah.
And there was like performance royalties, like live performance royalties. There's like playing on the radio, and then there's streaming. Those are the three ways. It's only when songwriters only get paid when they actually get a song out into the world. Is that
Right. It's either on streaming platform, it's being played somewhere in real life. They have to pay you if they do that. Or whatever the third thing he said was.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So songwriters, you get your if you have a publishing deal, you get your publishing advance, and then, but the only way you can recoup that advance and then make more money is radio play, live performance play, like people performing it in concerts. But the concerts have to be, if the people aren't
radio play, live performance, which could just be that your song was played in a live situation, like. For instance, let's say Taylor Swift's song is played at the Super Bowl. She's getting paid for that. It's just how it works. If you don't do it, they come down hard on you. I've seen loads of small local cafes that have open mic nights and things, and then they tell you they're like no covers, only originals. And that's why. It's because they haven't paid for the license, you know, to play that stuff. So it has to be original works, or else they could get sued.
In like at least 5,000 cap capacity, right? Or you're not going to see a penny from a live show. If someone's playing the Troubadour, no songwriter is getting paid from that show, you know? So, and then...
That's interesting. I didn't know about the 5,000 plus. Interesting.
And film and TV syncs. It's a big, big, big way to make money.
100%.
So I've been very, very fortunate that a couple of my songs, specifically Cake by the Ocean and Believer, Imagine Dragons, they were radio songs, which was great, but they also have synced like fucking crazy. To Nintendo commercials, to telephone commercials, just like nuts. So on the business side of things, I think most people would assume like Justin Bieber's Sorry is probably my highest earner. It's nowhere close. Because it wasn't synced anywhere. Now, culturally, that song changed my life, and it's made me cool forever. But
I guess
financially, it's not. Because I know your followers are very like business interested people, so why not just be honest about the business? Like it's if you can have a hit that's on the radio, but then also get synced on film and TV like crazy, it's literally life-changing. Which is why, for my publishing company, we're building out a whole film and TV department.
Love that.
And we're doing the new TV show called Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies, which is the prequel to Grease. There's like over 30 original songs in the show. So
All written
Oh, he's gonna make bank off of that.
by.
people signed to me. Well,
Amazing.
me, I'm a co-writer on all of it, but then I have 4 other writers that are signed to me that are swapping out places to write the songs with me. So it's a way that while they're waiting for their big radio hits, I can make sure that writers signed to me actually can pay their rent and can actually eat. Where most pop publishers give you your advance and then just like, okay, let's pray you get a hit in the radio in the next 2 years, else you're gonna have to go work at Starbucks.
Right.
Don't worry.
You can't predict sick days,
About a thing.
but with Kleenex,
Oh, that kid
you
sneezed
can
right in
be
that guy's
prepared for
face. That's terrible.
How often are you in the studio or like songwriters you work with every day kind of thing? Is it like a 5 days a week, like 40 hours kind of thing?
I would say I aim for 5 days a week to be in the studio, and I aim to like only work from like 1 p.m. to 7, writing, right? Reality is I probably end up working 6 days a week, and at least 3 of
6
those
hours
days
a day?
I end up doing a double session.
5 days a
because
week.
something comes up that I just don't want to fucking say
Sounds
no
like a
to.
nice.
Or
That sounds like a nice career to have.
with all the cool film and TV stuff I'm doing, the deadlines are like serious because they have to go shoot a fucking scene.
For sure.
Right? Like if it's a pop star,
Especially something about like Grease. They're literally singing and dancing to the song. So that's gonna have to be completely finished.
it's like they don't even really make a release plan until like they have the master in their hands, right? They're not gonna like pick a release date and they don't have a master yet. Where film and TV, it's like we're shooting the scene fucking tomorrow, go fix this right now, which is actually kind of fun. But when I was first coming up, I was 100% doing double sessions every day, 6 days a week. Like
Wow.
every fucking day. Now some of those would cancel and it would like be so excited I get to go see my friends on like a Wednesday night, which would never happen normally. But yeah, it was I had been beat down so much by this business that once the door like finally cracked open, I was like, I might not be the best songwriter, but I can be the best collaborator and I can be the hardest worker ever. Like no one, right? Whoever's the best songwriter, that's up. Everyone has a different opinion
Bob Dylan.
of that, right? No one can have an opinion about how hard I work. And so that was
That's
like,
true. If you put in the grind, if you put in the work, nobody can dispute that.
I'll just go into every fucking session and no one can stop me. And I did, and I really learned how to be so good with people, which I take just as seriously as writing the songs. And so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of your conversations lead to the actual songwriting
Yes.
from the sessions.
They really do. It's my favorite way to find the song because then the artist is gonna then just feel like this song is theirs and only theirs, and like no one else could sing it because I literally took at least the title, if not a bunch of sentences. A great example of that, the most extreme example, is probably Dixie Chicks. Sorry, the Chicks now.
That's I forgot about how the Dixie Chicks changed their name to the Chicks.
Sleep at Night.
How do you sleep at night?
And if you listen to the first verse, I literally took exactly what Natalie said to me and set it to a melody. And Teddy Geiger, who was co-writing and producing the session with us, like turned
Amazing
around.
songwriter.
Teddy Geiger's fucking, she's just unbelievable. Teddy was like, are we really gonna put all of that just truth in the song?
My husband's girlfriend's husband just called me up. How messed up is that?
It's like, I don't see why not. So I do that a lot. It's happened in many, many songs, but that's the most extreme example if you want to like look at how ridiculous I
So you go in, you listen to the band talk, and then you give them the lyrics, and they're just what they had just said. That's hilarious.
can get about like taking the artist's actual words and heart and putting it into the song.
We talked a lot about earlier about the different stories behind your songs.
Yeah,
And I had a question. I have a selfish question for me,
I
actually.
can't wait.
So I'm trying to like show different different processes of the music industry
Yeah.
in a cool behind the scenes way. One of them is to land a placement as a songwriter.
Okay.
So to go about doing that, what would you recommend being the first step and to get to that place?
I mean, there's a thousand ways to do it, right? The one way to do it is to, however you can, get yourself to a publisher, right?
Okay.
Now that can be tricky, but
Yeah, where are these publishers?
I got to a publisher because my band was so massive in New York City, and only New York City, that it ended up getting bigger other places. But in that labels and publishers came to us because I built this whole world inside of it. So my way into the music business was through building my band, right? So that's different. If you're just
That's always been the classic approach. You're born in a small town, you move to New York or LA, and you meet all these people and then you're famous. I just don't think it works this day and age. And if it does, you've gotten very lucky and you probably could have done it from wherever you had been. But who knows?
trying to be a songwriter, I'll use the examples of songwriters that I have signed to my publishing company, which are
Oh, he has a publishing company. Maybe I could just work for him.
Brendan Colbane, unbelievable
I know. I'll take the words he says in this interview and I'll send them to him as lyrics.
fucking songwriter. Like, his melodies just like make me want to die in all the right ways. And he actually covered Sorry on his YouTube channel. And it was one of the most beautiful vocal performances I ever heard my whole life. I think he tagged me on it in Instagram or something, whatever. And I do get tagged in so many things and get so many messages that I normally miss it, but I saw that one. And I just like commented like, "You're fucking amazing." And then like he messaged me and he was like, "Actually, like, I'm trying to be a songwriter. Like, I want to do artist stuff, and like, but that's not, I want to be a songwriter. Can I send you songs?" And he did, and they were amazing. So then we signed him, but then it still takes a while to get him a cut, right? So that's a great example of like, you have to put your music out there
100%.
for people to see it. So as a songwriter or a producer,
You have to put your music out there for people to see it, and then you have to get incredibly lucky that the right people see it at the right moment and decide to take some sort of action on it. So basically, it's actually a lot less effort to just buy a lottery ticket and win the lottery.
find any way you can to put your music out there. Because how else are people going to hear it, you know? So, and don't be annoying. Don't be one of the people that like tags every songwriter on the planet or every producer on the planet or every publisher on the planet.
No, you have to just go about your business.
Like, tag people and message people who like you think would actually like what you're doing, right? Like, if you're like doing super cool indie pop things, tag and message publishers who do super cool indie pop things. Tag bigger songwriters who like even though I've been fortunate enough to write some big mainstream hits, like it's pretty clear that the songs that I'm a part of do lean like a little bit left of center. The history of me being in a band,
Opening up for
Lady Gaga.
Semi-precious weapons and Lady Gaga proved that rock and roll is fucking back.
It's clear to see what kind of stuff I'm gonna
That was cool. They were recording that on a reel-to-reel.
like. Or also like, you know, I'm a huge LGBTQ activist. I'm on the board of GLAAD. So like, if you're queer, I'm probably gonna listen just because I want to like open doors for other queer people, because
Can you imagine if I was like, if you're straight, I'll check it out. Otherwise, probably it won't.
every fucking door was closed to me for so long. So be smart about who you harass on the internet.
Would you say in
That's the hardest thing because it's so easy to just harass everyone.
order to become a successful songwriter, you need a publishing deal?
Well, you know, nowadays with social media owning everything, I am sure there are ways to get there without it. I know for a fact, actually, Bebe Rexha, who's, I mentioned to you before, I think is one of the most underrated artists of our time. Such a songwriter, such a fucking singer.
Oh God, I hate that song.
Like,
I have to hear that at work all the time
vocalist.
too. This song is terrible.
She's on TikTok all day.
Oh yeah.
Sending me like, oh, did you hear this song? Did you hear that song? Did you hear like, oh, this girl?
See, that's messed up. You shouldn't have to be on TikTok, an application that you cannot download in America. You shouldn't have to be on TikTok all day to be a musician. That's so messed up. Like, it doesn't even make any sense how messed up that is. Camera died. Like, it really just shouldn't even be a thing at all. I miss the days where a musician could make music. That's the kind of world I would like to live in. A world where musicians get to make music. But, that's not the world we live in.
Girl's a songwriter, like, she's not trying to be an artist, but like, listen to this fucking song, like, you should check her, like, people are paying attention. So there are ways to get to people and artists.
That was the slickest battery change I've ever done.
Without a publishing deal. But I've been at Warner Chapel for
Get my highest
13
right.
years now. So I have said publishing deals have been great for me. But when I was coming up, there wasn't an option. Like, there was maybe MySpace. Like, my band did great on MySpace, and that was awesome. And I, like, emailed Perez Hilton enough
Oh, MySpace.
times till he, like, finally posted a video.
What has lasted 5,000 years was once home.
Which is a whole other story. But there are ways to get there without a publishing deal. Or there are ways to make noise on the internet to get you the publishing deal.
100%. Speaking of the internet, you were one of the people who said early on, you said the radio is dying and that the internet is taking over. You said that back in 2016, which I think a lot of people...
See, and that's interesting because we've already found that the radio's dying. The money's in the radio. Those are two facts. The money is in the radio is dying because of streaming. The money's not in the streaming. That's not good.
did say, but
Yeah.
with that being the case, did you ever see TikTok and how do you feel about TikTok being such a driver for the music industry today?
If they don't mention that TikTok is an app that you can't even get now, I'm going to be mad.
I think, like everything, it has its...
Like, how long are we going to pretend that TikTok wasn't taken down? How long are we going to pretend? Like, has this changed? Because the last time I checked, I literally can't get TikTok. It's impossible to get. And if you have it, you can't update it. Like, how does that not matter to anyone? It's just, like, crazy to me.
its pros and its cons.
So, small disclaimer about this video. I didn't realize that they had brought TikTok back to the App Store. So, you can get TikTok again. I was operating under, a week ago when it was just gone. So, actually kind of explains a lot. But, yeah, enjoy the video. Like and subscribe. You can't download TikTok. It's gone. What kind of world is this? What world do we live in? Where the biggest app on the planet is something that I have no access to. And everyone just pretends that that's... Oh, it's so weird.
If they enjoy it, right? But this isn't new. This is the same thing. There's an amazing panel you can watch on YouTube, and it's a bunch of like old crotchety male rock stars and then Madonna. And they're all complaining about MTV.
I sort of resent the fact that a kid grows up, listening to the radio and listening.
Well, these are fucking true musicians that got together and made music. Madonna is like the first TikTok type, ready for social media, like ready for that kind of world. So of course they're complaining, and Madonna's like not.
Listening
Of
to the
course.
great music, legacy of music that we have, and dreams about playing the guitar or playing the drums.
You know, we're musicians. We shouldn't have to make a video. Fuck this. Fuck this. Like, we
Yeah.
didn't sign up to be, like, actors. We signed
Yeah.
up to be musicians.
And all of a sudden has to be an actor. To me, that makes absolutely no sense at all.
It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense.
So I was like, well, I think it's art, and I really fucking love it.
When you perform on stage, you're acting. I mean, that's a performance. So if someone puts a camera
Maybe you're acting. When I perform on stage, I go with my heart. I let my emotions come out of me in an honest and genuine fashion.
on you, what's the difference?
So that's the same conversation that's happening right now. Some artists don't want to fucking make TikToks. Some of them have a blast. Or some of them who are new and don't have a record deal, it's their only option. And
I swear to God, at least half of these musicians on TikTok, they haven't even tried making music yet. They just went in and they're like, I'm going to be a rock star. And they don't even have songs. They don't even know how to make a song.
and it's an option that's working. The negative side of it,
And it's working.
will say is that a label can have the best song they've ever had, and if the artist isn't good at TikTok, or if the gods of algorithm don't lift it up, or however it works, if the engagement doesn't kick off, sometimes the best song ever that has the fucking record deal and has the budget and has everything is not gonna be heard. And so that's the con. The other side of it, like people are like, oh, these fucking TikTokers getting record deals. I'm like, it's the same thing as Disney. It's just the new fucking Disney. And some people on Disney deserve their record deal.
The new Disney.
Some people didn't. And some people on Disney who maybe people thought didn't deserve the record deal
Well, you know everything's gonna be a breeze.
ended up being fucking amazing.
I can buy myself flowers.
100%.
And are never going away.
She made that song. I have to hear that song every day at work too.
So TikTok's the same thing. Some of these people are models on TikTok who shouldn't have record deals, but they do. But some of them are actually amazing fucking singers and songwriters and instrumentalists who do get a record deal, and then they end up being great, So, like everything, there's pros and cons. But I like to always focus on the pros because the cons are just exhausting.
Last two questions for you.
Awesome.
So, over the next year, I'm trying to interview 100 singers, songwriters, and producers. We talked about this earlier, but I'll repeat it.
God bless you.
Appreciate it.
Goddess bless you, because God can't help you with that. 100 songwriters and producers is way too much. But maybe a goddess could help you with this endeavor of torture.
First on the list was David Foster. Second was Coldplay. Third, Rick Astley, and now you. So,
I mean, I'm in pretty good company. Those people have been legends for decades. I'm on year 8.
You've been writing songs since 15, though.
Yeah, but no one heard any of them until 2014. But okay, go on. I'm interrupting you. I'm sorry. Go on.
You're chilling.
You haven't even asked the question yet.
So I'm trying to show a different side of the music industry
Yeah.
for people to be able to see it, see the behind the scenes, because I feel like people haven't really gotten to see that.
Yeah.
So my question for you is, how many likes does this video have to get in order to show the behind the scenes of one of the songs that you write?
Oh, how many
Oh, on your TikTok, huh? Well, I'd love to look at it, but I literally can't.
likes? I mean, I need your advice on this. How many likes? Yeah, I'm very new to TikTok, so you have to tell me how many likes is worthy of my behind the scenes content.
I would probably say I told Cole.
Am I crazy, or did I make up this TikTok thing? Can you get TikTok again? As of recently, it is possible to get it back on your phone, and it's been really. This is from a month ago. I don't trust the AI thing. So is it back?
1, 2, 3, go. Prince.
I guess it's back. Okay. Well, never mind everything I was saying.
Play as much as they wanted to do, and Chris said 100,000.
Okay, if Coldplay said 100,000, I need to be real with myself. I'm gonna say.
Let's see what he has
50,000.
just on this video.
That's too much. I'm gonna say
7,000.
We'll keep it at 50,000.
Not
I want to
bad.
make sure.
Wait, if Coldplay's 100, I should really bring this down.
I mean, I'll probably hit
say
that just
50,000.
on. We'll probably hit that just on this YouTube video.
You know what?
We'll shake on it.
With these cheekbones, let's go 50,000.
50,000. Let's do it.
I'm Dr. Suarez, a board-certified dermatologist. I know firsthand, thinning of your hair can be really distressing.
I need to get
go
the
through.
helmet.
I recommend.
So, final question for you.
Yeah.
Advice for anyone trying to make it in the music industry now, singers, songwriters, producers, or anyone with a dream.
I have the dream.
For anyone trying to make it in the music industry right now, if you're trying to be a singer, songwriter, artist, producer, don't be afraid to make as much music as possible.
I'm not scared of making music.
And don't be precious with it. Like, let it out into the world, because that's the only way people are going to find you.
See, I do that, and I'm told that I've oversaturated the market, is what I'm told. I make too many albums too often, and it's oversaturated. Nobody checks any of it out.
That's the only way.
Maybe it's because I'm bad at it, but I don't think so. I genuinely don't.
People, even if it's not, because you might not be trying to go fucking viral and like become an internet sensation, but it's the only way for people to hear you. You have to let people hear your music. And then I think the best thing you can do is to collaborate. Co-writing songs will change your life immediately. I always say, even if you decide that you...
I agree that co-writing songs is really good. The songs really grow once you get somebody else, another pair of eyes on it, another pair of ears on it. The whole song can change. And it can take a lot more time and a lot more effort, but it's almost always a better end product, almost every time.
You fucking hate co-writing. If you like make yourself do 10 sessions, because you will learn so much about who you are as a writer. You will learn your strengths. You will learn your weaknesses. That co-writing changed my life. It's.
How did you find people to co-write with starting out?
Yeah, I found people to co-write with through my band. It was our last album we made was with Tricky Stewart, and so he introduced me to a couple people.
Awesome.
And there's a song on the band's last album called Aviation High that if you're gonna check out my band, listen to the band's self-titled song.
I just want to know.
Everyone calls it fucking gorgeous because the main lyric is I can't come here, I'm fucking gorgeous.
Oh my god, how did I do that? What button did I just push that made it? Whoa. Custom speed, just normal is fine.
Which was very true at the time. And then there's a song on the last album called Aviation High.
This is Tricky
That
Stewart.
my band and we all worked on together, but we co-wrote it with this producer named Accident, who did like Fireball by like Pitbull and like stuff that like I never thought would make sense with my band. And we just tried it, and it really changed the way that I wrote. And it really pushed me melodically. Really made me think about like having the melody really sink into the drum groove in ways I had never thought about before. And I was like, this is kind of awesome. And then when I asked my publisher to let me write with and for other people, it was a new collaborator every fucking day. And then when there was people that I wrote really well with, it was then you lean into that. And I just learned it just made
That makes sense. Find your people and then go for it, basically.
my song so much better, and it makes me so much better. Like knowing what your strengths are and owning that, which I was talking to you before. Like I know my strengths are lyrics, I know my strengths are song structure, and I know my strengths are like the more dramatic alternative side of melodies. But if we're looking for like a little detailed pop melody, I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, or even like, I would say the same about how I write songs. And one thing you forget sometimes when you're writing is the groove, the drums, whatever, the beat is probably the most grabbing thing that anybody's going to hold on to. And sometimes it's hard to remember that, when you're so focused on lyrics or something, or how a chorus is going to go, or the structure, the verse, chorus, bridge, how are you going to do it? You kind of forget about the groove. The groove is what matters most. And sometimes it takes someone else to help you get there.
Try. Like, why would there's someone who's better at that than me. Let them be better than me. So co-write, collaborate, and don't be.
That's why so many of the best things made, whether it be film, music, whatever, it's a team of people. Video games, It's usually a team of people, and they're all working at their strengths, and they're leaving their weaknesses at the door because it's a team.
Precious.
Incredible. Sounds like write a lot of songs.
Write too many songs.
Done.
Want to die from how many songs you write.
Collaborate and put your music out and promote it.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Well, that's good advice. It's not going to change your life, but it's good advice. And I thank you for joining me on this journey. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.